Hey man, welcome back to the 6 God Highlight Reel. It's not going to be a usual reaction video with the highlights playing and me commentating. This is going to be different. I'd like to start this video off by saying that I'm disgusted. Um, I'm disappointed. I like me wearing this Raptors gear right now is like I honestly was I was contemplating on burning this shit because of the way they played tonight. There's so many plays. The first half was perfect. I mean, yeah, they had their flaws, and they could have blew out. They could have blew up the lead to double digits, but they had mishaps here and there, and they weren't able to pull out, stretch out the game with a big lead, and going into the half down by 2, you thought, all right, the pace is still in our favor, and the Raptors have the lead, and we're at home. They should look similar to game 1, and they should be a close game, and we should be able to pull this one out and not make the same mistakes and not miss the same type of shots that we missed in the first game. But then we come out in the second half, and what happens? Ibaka gets the goddamn ball. He tries to dribble it up. LeBron's there. He scares the shit out of him. He loses the ball, turns it over, and they go on an 8-0 run. They're up 6, and that's all she wrote. That's all they needed. They got the lead, never looked back. And that honestly pissed the shit out of me because Ibaka hasn't played well since the first game of the Wizards series. And it's really disappointing. He looks like he's worth $1 million, not $65 million. And I'm pissed off, man. Seeing us get smacked up by the Cleveland Cavaliers for 3 years in a row, enough is enough, man. You guys say culture change, bench mob, this and that, but when it comes to the crucial moments of the game, when the pressure hits you the most, you guys crumble back to the old style, the ISO ball, where DeRozan tries to take over the game. And I don't blame him completely because other guys have to make their shots, and the bench mob doesn't have experience, so they crumble. They're waiting for the starters to kind of put their foot forward and make some noise so that the bench can follow. But I'm not going to blame Kyle Lowry for this loss. He did his thing in the first half. He had 18 points in the half. He tried his best to do what he could to help us win this game. Valanciunas, he played perfect. Ibaka is a one person. And Dwayne Casey. Because we were down. The run went on for Cleveland, and they were up 11 when they went on that run towards the end of the run, at the start of the third quarter, and Dwayne Casey brings in C.J. Miles, but he decides to put him on Kevin Love. At that point, I can understand if you try to put if you try to put C.J. Miles on Kevin Love when it's a 2 or 4 point game. When we're down 11, does it look like we have an option to go back and forth with buckets? Like, we have to get defensive stops. And do you think that the Cleveland Cavaliers are stupid? Like, they're gonna take advantage of that mismatch. And I get Ibaka played bad, but we could have him out there to play some defense if CJ Miles is getting abused like that on the defensive end. As bad of a game as Ibaka was having, and as bad of a series as he's been having, he would be able to. He's the only guy on our team that could do the best job to kind of stop Kevin Love from going in the paint and scoring that easily, because he was dummying CJ Miles. Now, I'm trying my best to keep my cool because I'm so pissed off, man. You know, all this outside noise is one thing. And going into the series, we all know what the outside noise is or was. Toronto fans all know. The Skip Baylesses of the world, the Stephen A. Smiths of the world, the Shannon Sharps of the world. You know that they're going to say their shit. We all know that. But it's our job as Raptor fans and the Toronto Raptors team and overall to prove them wrong. But what do you guys do? You lose a nail biter in the first game. What are we expecting in the second game? We're expecting you to come out with the same intensity as you did in game one, except carry it out throughout the whole game and not just 3 quarters, and win it, and tie the series at 1 apiece, and try to take one out in Cleveland. What do you guys do? You play well in the first half, give it up in the second half, get mercied, get dubbed, get slapped up. Let the commentators call Toronto LeBronto. And then you got weak ass Skip Bayless going on Facebook Live and talking shit about the goddamn Raptors, calling us a bunch of... He calls us baby dinosaurs, man. That's not cool. And he has every right to, because we never step up. Indiana Pacers did a better job against these Cleveland Cavaliers. I know that the role players didn't come through. They didn't play well, but it doesn't matter, man. We're the Raptors, and we need to worry about ourselves and not other teams. And it sucks, man. Losing both games at home, going to Cleveland. It's embarrassing right now, man. And I want to punch 100 walls. I want to take my frustration out on Ibaka. Because Ibaka has been playing like ass. And when I see DeRozan try to take over games, yeah, he's a scorer, but he's not that player. VanVleet did his thing. And I'm not even mad at VanVleet for taking those 2 shots and missing them. Those shots are makeable shots. He just happened to miss them. It is what it is. We had so many opportunities to win that first game. It just didn't work out. But to see the type of effort that happened in game 2 and the way that we lost that game, what can we really say? We deserve to get trashed about. Like, we deserve to get trash talked about all the time. Like, I know what's gonna go on ESPN from the morning to the end. Like, you know you know what they're gonna say. You know they're gonna talk shit. They're gonna say the Raptors are not for real. They're ass. They're not this. They're not that. They're a regular season team. They don't perform in the playoffs. They underperform in the playoffs. And we don't got luck on our side because Cleveland always happens to fall right where we are. Like, we fight for home court throughout the whole year. And Cleveland and Boston are 2 and 3. And Sixers are 4th. All of a sudden, Sixers decide to go on a 16-game winning streak. Cleveland decides to lose some games. Who knows if they're losing it on purpose or not. And then they fall to 4th. And what do we have to deal with? We deal with them in the second round. And to be honest, LeBron does have a psychological factor on us because we can't say otherwise. Why do we keep losing to this team? We had a strong lead in the first game. We had a pretty decent lead in the second game. And we couldn't hold those leads. It is what it is. And I feel like we need to call not just a culture change, but we need a change on our roster. Because at this point, the season's over. Are they going to win 2 games in Cleveland? I highly doubt it. I don't even think they're going to win 1. That's just my personal opinion. LeBron literally came into Toronto and ripped the Raptor fans and the players' hearts out by himself. Not to say that he didn't get help from his players. he got his team to come in. J.R. Smith, came in, did his thing. Kyle Korver did his thing. Jeff Green came out of nowhere, did his thing. Kevin Love did his thing. And J.R. Smith at the end of the game was like, yeah, against Toronto we play well. That's a low-key diss to us, man. We're the number 1 seed in the East. And we're getting punked off like this. Why do we put in this much work as a team in the regular season? Why do we do it? Just so we can get punked off in the playoffs? You say we have to be the best, we have to beat the best? Well, right now you ain't beating the best, you're getting clowned by the best. And that's not a cool thing. Because when you compare our series to it's not like they swept the first round. The Pacers took them to 7 games. And in the first game, they stole home court from Cleveland. And you see us looking like a joke. As much as I hate to agree with Skip Bayless, that's what it looks like. And I personally hate his ass right now because of the way he talks about the Raptors. I'm trying to stay as composed as I can right now. Even though I want to burst out and go crazy right now. It pisses me off even more because you see what Boston's doing without their 2 key players. And Jaylen Brown even wasn't playing for a couple of those games. And they've been able to defend home court. I know they ain't playing LeBron, but still. If you ask me, they shouldn't even be in this position. Milwaukee should have beat them in the first round. But no, they didn't. And now there's a possible chance, a very high chance, that they're going to go to the conference finals to face Cleveland. Which is mind-boggling. Because they don't even have their 2 star players. If we get swept, man, honestly, Masai, this message is for you. If we get swept by the Cleveland Cavaliers, which is what's going to most likely happen, you got to retool this roster, man. Either you got to get a key free agent to come to Toronto, or you got to blow this thing up. That's just how this is going to work. Because this team isn't getting it done. And that's the honest truth. You've given it 3 chances. 2016, first time we made it to conference finals is one thing, And we got lucky that year, not meeting LeBron in the second round. But the last 2 years, for some reason, LeBron and the team, the squad, has found a way to fall into place with us. And that's the reason why we haven't been able to advance to the conference finals. And we need to get through him to get to the finals. And right now it doesn't look like it. And it frustrates me as a Raptors fan to admit it, even though we've kind of known it from the get-go. It was such a disgusting loss today, man. I didn't even want to... I wanted to turn it off, but I couldn't because I need to support these Raptors, man. Like, you put in so much work to get to this point just to get dropped by LeBron again. Like, I thought this year was going to be different, but he has a psychological factor on us. And that's the truth. The way he dummied us today, the way he shot his shots, the look in his eyes, you knew he was ready to kill. When he had us down by double digits, there was nothing we could do because in his eyes, you could tell he was ready to kill. And the Raptors couldn't make a shot when they needed to, make a run and try to get it close, try to get to single digits. Now, whether LeBron stays in Cleveland or not, that's a story for another day. But as much as I hate him at the moment, he's my favorite player, and it sucks because you're weighing between the Raptors, who he's owned for the last 3 years, and then you got him. And before the Raptors started making the playoffs, he was the guy I was rooting for every year to win a ring. I wanted him to pass Jordan. And now it's like, even when he did beat the Raptors the last couple of years, I rooted for him because I wanted him to catch Jordan. I wanted him to get 6 rings. I still want him to get 6 rings, but as of this very moment, I don't think I've been happier to say that I want to see him get mercied by the 4-0 zipped by the Golden State Warriors. Because by the looks of it, it's going to be a repeat of the finals for the 4th straight year in a row. As good as Houston is, with Steph Curry back, it's a wrap for them. And he looks good. And the type of electricity he brings to the Oracle, man, when he makes those threes. Like, I wish we had a goddamn player like that, man. The greatest shooter to ever live. The greatest shooter in NBA history. Golden State fans are mad lucky. And Raptors fans need to Raptors in general need to get their shit together. Raptor fans need to figure this shit out. Needs to see exactly which way this boat's gonna go. Because with Philly on the rise, with Boston on the rise, and LeBron's still a factor in the East for the next couple of years, as long as he stays in Cleveland, where does Toronto really fall? If they avoid Cleveland, they can get to the conference finals if they keep this team together. But if they meet Cleveland in the second round or before the conference finals, you know how that story's going to end. Because as of right now, every sports analyst out there that's been saying that LeBron owns the Raptors, that's a true statement because that's what it looks like every year. And that pisses me off to say, man. Like I mentioned earlier, I wanted to burn one of these Raptors jerseys. That's how angry I was. The pathetic performance that they put up today, man. It's but yeah, I felt like I had to say all this. I couldn't keep it to myself. I tried to for a bit, but I've held this in for so many years now. Every time the Raptors face the Cleveland Cavaliers, at least the first time they faced them in the conference finals, they were able to put up a fight. That team was able to put up a fight. Bismack Biyombo, DeMarre Carroll, as bad as he was last year. That first year when he came, even though he was injured, he did his thing. We didn't beat Cleveland, we didn't make it to the finals, but we got to the conference finals, which was a big accomplishment for us because that was the first time we ever made it. And DeMarre Carroll, Corey Joseph, Bismack Biyombo, Patrick Patterson, kudos to all those guys that came off the bench. That year we were able to avoid Cleveland till the conference finals. That was the difference between that year and these last 2 years. For some reason, I don't know if they did it on purpose, but they were able to match up with us in the second round instead of the conference finals, and it sucks. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. Sorry if it didn't live up to what you all expected, but I felt like I had to get that out there. Pissed, upset, all the negative things you could possibly think of. I could speak for all Raptors fans that everyone thought that this might be the year. But it's not looking like that right now. And the Raptors proving Skip Bayless and all the Raptor naysayers right. It hurts. But we'll be back with some more videos, some more bangers. But yeah, sit tight. Peace.